felt guilty, that's less about action and a little bit more too much feeling. But when you got to, I have I'm a more compassionate team member, that's what I'm looking for. I've got a well-rounded person who really can be a successful part of a team. It's already made one of the most basic mistakes. We lose our temper, right? And emotions do that, right? They get us make us a little crazy sometimes. So good answer there. Jacob, same question. We all make mistakes. Tell me about a time you wish you had handled a situation differently with a colleague.
I remember when I worked at McDonald's last year, there was an employee who was rushing me, I remember correctly, and it was a very stressful day. And basically the employee was verbally assaultive, basically very demanding, and I lashed out at them, and because they had been there longer, they were able to turn the situation around and kind of just, I'm not really sure how to word it exactly, but they framed it in a way that I was the one antagonizing them. So from that experience, I realized that sometimes it's better just to grin and bear a lot of things in the workforce, and then rather just sticking up for yourself is good and all, and advocating for yourself is important in the workforce. But if it's in a tight scenario like that and you're still a bit new, it's better to just kind of absorb as much as you can, even if it's not great, just let you learn as much as possible about the dynamics of the workforce.
Okay, good. Jacob, same question. A time that you wish you had handled something differently or better with a colleague or teammate.
I had a similar experience to Autumn where group project, we just didn't communicate well enough, and we both ended up kind of doing one part, the same part, instead of doing the other part, so we ended up just completing, not the entire project. So it was just about learning to communicate better, and from then on, just always making sure to make a group chat and all that.
Okay, good. So each answer, they had the situation, action, learning. Josh, you might be a little bit rambling in your look at that and see if you could have shortened that up a little bit and then got more to that constructive outcome that you did get to at the end. So just a matter of tightening that up a little bit. So what was easy or difficult? We'll start with you, Joshua.
What was easy or difficult?
Yes, about the.
Obviously the easy part was, standing up for myself, but that easy isn't always the best.
What was easy or difficult about this exercise?
About this exercise?
Yes, yes.
Well, easy was thinking of a scenario in which I acted incorrectly in a professional environment. Difficult was kind of making that a bit more positive and kind of just formatting it a bit better.
Yeah, that's a key piece. So, if they're going to set you up with a negative scenario, you have to figure out how am I going to turn it into a learning or a positive result. Okay? So a lot of the responses that I heard today had some really good pieces, really good components. So one of the questions we had, I'm trying to remember, it was, what did you do? I think, Jacob, it was, what do you do to get up to speed or learn the ropes in a new job? Almost all of you in your panel had talked about, I went to somebody and I asked questions. I used a trusted expert, so I didn't wing it, right? Those types of responses are really important because it says that you know enough to go ask for help and actually seek out guidance. So those are really good responses. Almost everybody got to a result or learning. I really didn't see one scenario where somebody didn't get to that result or learning. At one point I was going to step in and say, and what did you learn? And then you did it. Then you got to that point. So make sure that when you're giving your critique, if you're going to do the critique for Friday for extra credit, that you grade yourself, your positives and your constructive against, did you use the technique? Also, what is your diction? What about your posture? What did that convey about you? What would you have changed? What would you change? Okay, so we are essentially done with class. I will take any questions you might have about the informational interview that's due today or anything else.
Right.
You're done. Thank you. Oh, applause. Yeah, if someone could help me with that, since I'm gonna explain my bad. I have to go, one goes that way, and then you go. Thank you. And if you're still struggling for, some scenarios, I gave you, one situation here in the PowerPoint that's on Moodle. If that helps kind of jog your, not necessarily memory, but help you create some scenarios. And I hope you do.
No, pass it.
3 or 4 questions you asked me in paragraph, should I do something different?
Break the mic so it's easy for me to see the answers to each question. So the second question is what?
What did you learn about the interviewee?
Yes. And obviously you're there. What did you learn about them? What did you learn about yourself? So
Yes,
it's the third question.
All 3 of those.
So I would just break it up so it's easy for me to see.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great week. I won't see you till next Wednesday. Be safe.
Something wrong with her, should I?
Yeah. And, remember, we don't have to get the paragraphs, use the block paragraphs, and you're
Oh,
gonna
did you
break your
interview?
paragraphs up. with
Like,
extra
you'll
My,
spaces.
my dad is, my
Check the numbers or anything?
Yeah, I would do that. Thanks, just makes your average easier for you
Okay.
to all those people.
Can I
So
use
I
like
decided when more
1,
about
2,
my
3
dad's
days without
house.
these measure? Okay. Thank you.
You can use your own and we'll see if you want.
Like, what do you know about your dad? In his career?
You just wanna have those highlights.
The only thing I did was write a quote on Steve.
So, what was the word?
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's good. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't just bullets, that you had almost full sentences. I understand. Yeah. And then put this, question with the answer on the next page, and you said insert.
Yeah, and then for this one, like, it's not a full page, like, what I worry about. It's okay.
2 to 3.
Okay, cause it's like 1.5.
More concise, you know, the more better.
I know, that's why I kind of put like 2 to 3 sentences for each, if that's what it was.
I think that's great. If you needed more space, you would have it, but there's no need to fill the page just for.
Yeah, I got it.
I just wanna make sure I have everything ready to go too, cause I'm forgetting a bunch of it, so I can.
Extra space, you have an extra space between this
Yeah,
one.
here you go.
Oh, thanks.
Sure.
Good, very nice.
When is behavioral feedback?
Today, by 3.
Behavioral?
No, that's due next week. Yeah,
Next week.
the Wednesday.
Okay.
I also went over it.
Comfortable with it?
Sorry, I'm
I think it looks really good, I like these ones for interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, have a good Easter, guys. Yeah,
I actually didn't know.
I love when I hit the
I'm
spelling
thinking
thing
about
and it
going
says
home and
today.
running my family.
Yeah, it's all good.
But it's a long drive, Pennsylvania.
Let me just fill that real quick.
There's always a chance that,
We'll see.
You didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
word,
gonna go
you know,
home and my
they're-
dad's
they're-
like, go. But part of me
He's
wants
like,
to
you
buy
were-
a
I
train
looked around,
ticket.
I'm looking through things, sure,
But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I interviewed my dad at like
Yeah.
a really cool.
My roommate is
Mexican
up from
restaurant, like,
Maryland,
just wasn't
and it
catered,
was 9
just kinda
hours.
talked for a bit.
Nice. So
Yeah.
you made it a conversation.
9 hours. I was like,
I've
I
been-
thought my 3-hour
It
car
was really
ride.
good, we also were just but he works,
Yeah, that's a lot.
he interviews people all the time, so
Then I did.
it was kind of cool, just kind of talking to him like.
Yeah, I'd spend my whole day Monday
How
traveling.
cool it must be for him,
Yeah.
you know, before he went to bed that night, so my son, he's grown up.
Working hard.
Yeah.
See ya. See ya.
Alright, thank you so much, and I hope you have a good Easter.
I hope you do as well.
Alright, see you then, or see you Monday, or Wednesday, right?
Wednesday, yes. No
Awesome.
class, there's no classes at all on campus on Monday, and I just wanna make sure you knew that, I did get your note about Friday, but we're cancel classes anyway.
So what's wrong with it?
You sent over the.
Oh, yeah.
I actually got it twice.
Oh, really? I typed the wrong thing in the first time.
Yes, I figured.
Yeah.
I just
I
wanted.
felt bad.
Oh, no, you're
Sorry, I
fine.
did it.
So there's no class anyway, so.
Yeah.
we're good.
Perfect.
All right, any questions I can answer? No, you're good? All right. Yay. Questions you might have.
So what I did, I just pretty much wrote down an actual
Mhm. Yeah, that's good.
and then, yeah, and then responsibility.
Okay, make sure that this font size is the same. Do you know how to make that?
Yeah, that was mentioned.
You can hit select all and make all the fonts the same styles and size. Okay. And then look at that and see. It looks like you have spacing, looks like this is 1.5 space and then some photos.
Thank you.
Bye, thank you. Have a great break. Again, 2 breaks in a row. This message always a little weird. So you're still working on that answer? Okay.
So I was just wondering, so after I have, the responsibility.
Thank you, have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.
Sure. Are you there?
Okay, there's a bunch of other questions that you have to answer. So on Moodle, open your Moodle page and you can also see here.
Thank you.
Bye, Mallory. Have a great weekend.
Good weekend.
Thank you. So right here, can you see that from there?
Yeah.
This is on Moodle. What 6 questions did you ask and provide the highlights? So kind of what are some of the key things that were shared from those questions that you asked? Person you interviewed, what did they say about each of the questions? What did you learn about your host in his or her career path? What did you learn about yourself? And then how are you going to use this opportunity to expand your network? Did you ask them, is there anybody else I should talk to? Would you recommend I talk to anybody else in your network? So I want to hear how are you going to use this to keep expanding maybe even your LinkedIn network or maybe even doing another informational interview.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.